And we have safely arrived on a Wednesday, 23rd day of July, 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. Good to see you. Beautiful morning, 66 degrees. We're looking good. That upper low that was responsible for the cooler weather and the pop-up showers and the unsettled atmosphere, gone, out of here. It's in Montana. It's going to allow a ridge of high pressure off to the west to move on in. Going to take up residence, and July is making a comeback. Starts today. We were below normal yesterday, below normal, well below normal, as a matter of fact, for the last, 4 days. Our afternoon high temperatures not where they should be. Yesterday we only hit 86, our normal high is 90. We'll be back up close to 90 today and into the 90s right on into the weekend. This could be an extended period of sunny and warm weather. The forecast always bats lead off, pardon the baseball analogy. Another busy news day in the newsroom, and they know what they're doing, so we have some news heading your way as well. Mariners only scored 1 run last night, but 1 run was all they needed. Thank you very much, Mr. Raleigh. The Brewers' 11-game winning streak comes to an end. Way to go, Mariners. Highlights of that. And the Apple Sox scored 21 runs. They only needed to score 8. It was a football score at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. They beat Edmonton 21-7 in a game that lasted almost 4 hours. Kudos to our crew who had to cover the game last night. That was a long one. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to sports. In case you missed it last week, Eric Granstrom, our sports director, sat down with the new athletic and activities director for the Wenatchee School District back again. Full disclosure, my sister, BJ Kuntz. She had a chance to visit with Eric as she's back here in the big city after 6 years on the other side of the mountains, taking over the Wenatchee School District athletic programs. I'll have that conversation for you as well. Tour time. Here we go. Cameras are fired up, ready to go. I don't see a cloud in this sky. We actually got a little bit of rain yesterday. We got 1/100th of an inch at the rain gauge at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. Still in a drought. I wish we had more than that, but that's what we got. Sunrise this morning was at 5:28, sunset 8:45. 15 hours and 17 minutes of daylight. Today will be 2 minutes and 15 seconds shorter than yesterday. Camera number 2. We are off to, I'm thinking that might be Jump Off Ridge. Is that Jump Off? I think that's Jump Off Ridge. I think that's the Stimmel Basin right there. I'm almost sure that's the Stimmel Basin. So hello to our friends at the Stimmel Basin. Right directly in the middle of your screen is the Wenatchee Heights area with our normal heights camera way off to the right. And if you just peek over that little ridge at the far right-hand corner of your screen, you can make out a little bit of the Wenatchee Valley. Haven't used that camera in a while. The Stimmelt camera. Well, that's actually Jump Off Ridge, but we're looking at the Stimmel Basin and the mighty orchards doing their thing. Camera number 3. We are up to, okay, let me think here. I'm thinking maybe Chelan Butte. Oh, wait a minute, maybe Billy Goat. I'm saying Billy Goat. I think I'm right. That looks to be Billy Goat from a different angle pointed down to the southeast, I am assuming. I think I'm right. I think that's the Columbia River right there. It's a body of water, and that much I can tell you. I'm pretty sure that's the Billy Goat camera. And camera number 4. We wrap up our tour with, boy, Josiah's really throwing me. Oh, that's Tumwater. Hello, Tumwater. Again, these are PTZ cameras, pan, tilt, zoom. That's the acronym. So we can move them all over the place. They're not quite all the way around because there's a support tower. So there are some blockages here and there. But the fact that we can move these cameras around and zoom them in and out sometimes throws me for a loop, as it did this morning. Good morning to Leavenworth, looking almost due east towards the Wenatchee Valley. I hope I got all those right. I hope I did. We have one small little weather anomaly we need to talk about, and that is it's going to be a little breezy on Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and Friday. The pressure gradients are going to tighten up a little bit. We're going to have a low relative humidity. It wouldn't be surprised. It's not going to be really windy. It'll be breezy. I don't think it's going to be windy enough for the National Weather Service to issue a red flag warning. 2 of the 3 elements will be in effect. It'll be hot and it will be dry. Relative humidity will be quite dry, but I don't think it's going to be windy enough for a red flag warning, but just enough that anything out there might get going. They had good news on the Palmas fires we mentioned yesterday. They got rained on on Monday afternoon. Got a good dose of rain, too. We'll talk about that when we get to the news. So just a tad breezy again Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and Friday, but the weekend looks calm. From the National Weather Service, July has returned. 91. Our forecast high today, and that's just a little bit above normal. Our normal high is 90. We were below normal for the last 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We were below normal. We're back up to normal, maybe even a little warmer than that. It'll be a little warm on Thursday, a little breezy, as I already mentioned, Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and Friday. So we're going to cool down just a little bit on Friday. The wind is going to cool us down. We're going to get a little bit of cooler air coming down from Canada. Quite comfortable, very nice on Saturday and on Sunday, and back up to Monday and Tuesday when we start getting hot again. So yep, it is July. Although it's getting towards the end of July, it's going to feel like July for at least the next 7 days. After a 2-minute break, your Wednesday morning headlines. The news is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. TourMosesLake.com and start your adventure today.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
A lot of sunshine, 66 degrees here. In the big city, we'll be lower 90s today, hovering right around that 90-degree mark for the foreseeable future. It's about 8 minutes after the hour. Police are on the lookout for a traffic violator who eluded officers on Monday evening by driving across a pedestrian bridge and then hiding in the Horan Natural area. Wenatchee Police Captain Brian Chance says a green and beige 1995 Jeep Cherokee was spotted by officers running a stop sign at the intersection of South Wenatchee Avenue and Mars Street. That same car was later seen speeding by a Chelan County Sheriff's deputy near the Wenatchee River Bridge. That was around 10 o'clock on Monday night. When the deputy attempted to conduct a traffic stop, the Jeep allegedly drove through the Wenatchee Confluence State Park and across the Loop Trail Bridge into the Horan Natural area. The suspect then abandoned the vehicle and fled on foot. Authorities used a drone to try and locate the suspect. They weren't able to do so, but they impounded the Jeep. It was seized by the sheriff's office, and investigators are trying to figure out just exactly the identity of the driver. The man charged with holding up the Wenatchee Subway shop with a handgun last year has entered a guilty plea that carries more than 4 years in prison. 42-year-old Stephen James Arthur Moore pled guilty on Monday to unlawful firearm possession, first-degree theft, and 2 counts of identity theft. The plea agreement combined charges from several unrelated offenses dating back to 2022 and dropped the count of first-degree robbery in the May 2024 subway incident, in which Moore was accused of stealing about $300 from the cash register while armed with what appeared to be a black semi-automatic pistol. Judge Travis Brandt handed down a sentence of nearly 51 months in prison. Moore has been held in the Chelan County Jail ever since his arrest by Wenatchee police more than a year ago. Wenatchee Valley College on Monday suspended its college assistant migrant programs, known as CAMP, because of a delay in federal funding. Our media partners, the Wenatchee World, reports that the program supports students from migrant and seasonal farm worker families. It was supposed to be fully funded through 2029 with a $2.4 million grant, but the money is on hold, part of a nationwide delay tied to the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed by Congress earlier this month. College officials say they're working to keep staff and continue supporting affected students. Since it was launched in 2009, the program has helped more than 850 students and was on track to serve 225 more. Both the director of camp and the president of the college, Famous Harrison, says they're committed to finding a path forward. Well, Monday's rainstorm over the Palmas fire proved to be good news for firefighters, and so far no new fire starts detected from lightning. The 3,004-acre fire has been burning since mid-June in remote and rugged areas of the Glacier Peak Wilderness, about 30 miles west of Antioch. Fire managers said roughly a quarter to a half an inch of rain fell on the fire area on Monday afternoon. That helped put a damper on its growth. A reconnaissance flight after the storm passed did not locate any new fires as a result of lightning. The incident team overseeing the Palmas fire response held a community meeting on Monday night.
Now, this is several hours ago. We picked up some more, but you can see across the area we got anywhere from a couple of hundredths to 6/10 of an inch down here and a half an inch up near Trinity and on the north end of the fire here. So we got quite a bit of widespread wetting rain, and later on in the afternoon we picked up another tenth or so. So we got a lot of places that got close to a half an inch of rain here overnight, last night, and into this afternoon.
The Chelan County Veterans Service Office will hold a special ceremony in August to honor 17 local Purple Heart recipients. Of course, the Purple Heart is the oldest military decoration. It's awarded to men and women wounded or killed in service of the United States. Chelan County started a tradition last year of annually recognizing local medal recipients by inscribing their names on a plaque that's hung in the Chelan County Veterans Office. This year, 17 local medal recipients will have their names added to that plaque following a special ceremony. Again, it'll be on August 7th at the Wenatchee Veterans Hall. The event will include light refreshments and a presentation of colors. Last month, Chelan County's Board of Commissioners voted to lower the speed limit on part of East Leavenworth Road, a residential route that goes along the Wenatchee River. But how did that decision get made? On the Chelan County Connections podcast, Public Works Director Eric Pearson, who also acts as the county's official engineer, said Washington counties have to conduct an engineering study before they can change local speed limits.
So when you go by and see those tubes across the road, what those are doing is actually counting the number of vehicles, and they also have the capability of counting what the speed is of those vehicles going across. And so we're able to take that data and utilize it in our engineering study. And so the engineering study, what we look at from that is we utilize something that's called the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. So that's a standard, a national standard that Washington State has adopted. And so we utilize those tube counts, and it comes up and we can find what the 85th percentile of the speed is. In addition, we utilize that. We look at the roadway character, we look at the roadside, the nature and the use, the road users, and then accident history. Many times, and the previous version of the MUDCD had it a very controlling feature of that is that 85th percentile speed. And what the 85th percentile speed is 85% of the public feel comfortable driving at that speed or less. And the reason why we set it that way is when you're driving, speed almost becomes more psychological. If you've been on a roadway that had really wide shoulders, really wide lanes, you tend to actually travel at a higher rate of speed. There are certain roadways, not in this county, but where you'll find yourself where you almost have to set the cruise control to keep at that speed limit. Otherwise, you're always going over. Well, that's a example of having an artificially set speed limit without having other things.
A nonprofit service center for adults with developmental disabilities is offering an outreach this summer to young people with autism. The Tierra Learning Center has been a home and a retreat for its clients since 2004. It sits on 300 acres of land just outside of Leavenworth. Registration is open now for its first ever camp for youth on the autism spectrum, happening the third week in August. We visited the Tierra Learning Center campus and found out more.
Okay, so we're gonna need 2 cups of the basil.
This is 1 cup of the basil.
Yep, so put
So
that in there.
good job.
All right. Jordan, do you want to measure out the next cup?
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Tierra Learning Center serves adults with developmental disabilities, and we have kind of a 3-prong approach. We have an adult family home where we have 7 residents who live there, and then we have a employment services program where we help people find jobs, and that includes how to write a resume and how to do an interview and how to look and what do you want to do, and do some training and then help them get a job. And then once they have a job, then we assist them on the job with whatever they might need. And lastly, we have a program called Trails, which is a kind of an occupational recreational program where people come up for the day, and we do a whole range of activities from sports to arts to cooking and field trips, and we went rafting last week. So a lot of different activities, and we allow people to choose what they want to do, so we have several groups running at the same time doing different activities.
Can you help pouring it?
Well, right now we serve mostly adults, and a lot of those activities, we teach them specific skills, but we also teach them socialization skills. So teaching them to behave appropriately and to apologize when you make a mistake or do things like that. So there's a lot of learning within the activities.
Okay. I'm gonna get a spatula and we're gonna scrape this out.
We're offering a camp for youth with autism, ages 11 to 15, and that's in August. And that's our first year at it, and we're hoping to have 10 campers in a group and offer different activities, and we're taking registrations. And right now we're going to stop at 10, just because that's a good group, and you can have 3 camp counselors with the 10, and that kind of creates that 1-to-3 ratio, which is our ideal ratio that we like to have. Having been in the adaptive sports field for a long time, I know that there's a huge need for parents out there in the summertime for the kids and for the parents to have a little bit of a break. And so we're trying it out for 1 week this year, and hopefully we'll do it 3 or 4 times next year. And eventually I see us having a camp every week. Well, I think that having a camp with people with kids on the autism spectrum requires specialized knowledge of the camp counselors, because there are some behaviors that are kind of specific to kids with autism, and then there's some that maybe aren't. But knowing how to work with those behaviors and how to maybe calm somebody down, and also understanding that kids and adults with autism really like structure, and they like to know what's next and have routine. And so creating an environment where they have those routines so they feel comfortable. So a lot of thought into creating the structure and the activities that serve people who have autism.
Is that working? Yep. Okay. All right, if you need a bigger one.
We offer pickleball, and there'll be cooking, there'll be archery, there'll be some garden work, there'll be arts and crafts, music, dancing, a whole range of different activities for the campers. From my past work experiences where I used to work, we had 3 different camps, so 30 campers in 3 different groups every week throughout the summer, and there was always a waiting list. So, and I know on the west side they host camps and they're very popular, and there's a waiting list there. A camp for kids with autism would be greatly utilized in this area. One of the things we offer is a transportation program. So folks from Wenatchee, we can arrange to pick them up, or perhaps some of our participants are able to get the Link Plus and get dropped off at the bus stop, and we go and pick them up. So we've eliminated the need for transportation, which is a huge barrier oftentimes to participating here. We never turn anybody away due to inability to pay, so we do have scholarships for those who can't afford the full tuition. Obviously, it's a beautiful setting here. You're out in nature, and I have found that our participants who come here really love it, and so there's just something special about the Tierra Learning Center and the Sun-Edge Canyon that makes people feel comfortable and at home.
And now you are in the loop on what's going on around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington. And if you want to continue to be in the loop, we have a show called The News. Maybe we should call it In the Loop. I don't know. News is a good show, too. The NCWLIFE Evening News at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5, 6, and 10 on television. If you consume TV the new way, which is on the internet, smart TVs, your phone, whatever the case may be, our news will be posted on our homepage, ncwlife.com, and on our YouTube page just about 5 o'clock every Monday through Friday, and we'll put a link on our Facebook page as well. Got a news tip? Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Good night for the Mariners. Good night for the Apple Sox. We'll tell you about it in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Sports at 24 after the arrow. Cal Raleigh hit his Major League leading 39th home run of the season. Logan Gilbert was really good. Mariners snaps the Brewers' 11-game winning streak, 1-0 in the final last night. The switch-hitting catcher, who of course won the All-Star Home Run Derby, provided all the offense that the Mariners needed. Logan Gilbert carried a perfect game into the 5th inning. He ended up yielding just 2 base hits. He racked up 10 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody, and threw only 86 pitches.
Gilbert trying to put him away. And he does. A weak wave and a miss and a breaking ball down. Terang strikes out to begin the ball game.
Perfect through the first 4 innings. Raley, ground ball, second base. Terang stays down, throws him out. And the inning ends. Mizorowski goes 3-2.
Out to right field. Driven back. Flying out of here. Cal Raleigh. Home run number 39. Ties Ken Griffey Jr. for the most home runs by a Mariner in first 5 career seasons.
I tell you what, Cal Raleigh's catching that plus velocity. We saw that against Mizorowski early in this game. He coughed up a fastball, top of the strikes, and no chance Cal Raleigh jumped all over that pitch. Yeah, the fact he's trying 1-0 here in the 8th.
Broken back ground ball. Crawford circles around it up. One leg in time for the out. That is a dynamite play by the Gold Glover.
Now, I tell you what, this play is huge for so many different reasons. But look, the Milwaukee Brewers do such a good job of, first of all, keeping innings alive and just grinding out some of these pitches. But look at JP, man. I mean, doesn't have that plus arm strength of just a quick release, off balance, throws on the money.
Now the 2-2. Chopping. Williamson over to second, and the Mariners win it. They have taken game 2.
Cal Raleigh spoke to Root Sports after the game and gave all the credit to the pitching staff.
In tight games like this, how does it define your team?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job. You know, obviously not runs on the board today, 2 good pitchers out there, so I had to find a way to score. We got one across, but, you know, hats off to our pitchers. They held us together tonight.
You continued to lead Major League Baseball in home runs. You add one to that with 39. What was going through your mind as you watched the ball leave the yard?
Just trying to put a good swing on it, trying to get ready for the fastball. You know, like I said, they have a good pitching staff over there, so fell behind, 2-strike count, didn't try to do too much with it, and was able to, you know, get one out.
When you play tough teams like that, especially hottest in the league at the moment, what does that say about your group and what does it mean?
Yeah, you know, we can compete with anybody. They're a really good ball club over there, you know, so we got a lot of work to do. We got to catch up and, you know, hopefully make a run of this thing. So
we got to give some love to this pitching today. Gilbert, what can you say about his performance?
Yeah, he was great. You know, he's locating his fastball really well. Was really set up all the off-speed pitches, you know, splitter, slider, curveball. So I thought he did a good job of mixing. Like I said, locating the heater was the key for him today, and you know, really showed out.
And then how about Munoz to finish out and pitch out of a jam?
Yeah, you know, walked the first guy. I didn't want to ever do that, but you know, he's nasty. He had a lot of good stuff going tonight and was able to get out of it. And you know, like I said, one of the best in the league.
Brewers right-hander Quinn Priester starts the final game of the series for Milwaukee. Seattle will counter with Louis Castillo. Afternoon game, matinee, first pitch at 12:40. To the scoreboard, Mariners won, Astros won. So the Mariners are still 5 games behind Houston. In the AL West, the Rangers 7.5 back. Angels dropped to 10 games back after losing to the Mets. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox scored 9 runs in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 4 in the sixth, 4 in the seventh, and 1 in the eighth. 21-7, they blew out Edmonton last night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The Sox have won 6 in a row now, and they're a half game back of Edmonton in the overall standings, 3 back of Victoria for first place in the North Division. Second half standings, if the season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs. Wenatchee goes for their 3rd straight series win tonight at 6:35. And here's a quick look at the West Coast League scoreboard from last night. Sox are playing some pretty good baseball. Those are just some of the games that people are playing at 28 minutes after the hour. You scream, I scream. We all scream for vanilla ice cream. It's vanilla ice cream day today. Second most popular flavor behind, of course, chocolate. If you've ever been to Mount Rushmore, the restaurant, commissary, and ice cream parlor that they have at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota is the same recipe that Thomas Jefferson brought back from France in the 1780s, which is pretty cool. So if you wanted to know, and it pretty much tastes like vanilla ice cream. Of course, vanilla was exclusive to, it's native to Mexico, and outside of Central America, nobody even knew about it until the late 1600s. And now, does anybody doesn't like vanilla? I do. Anyway, today would be a good day. It's summertime, it's July. Have a bowl of vanilla ice cream with butterscotch topping. 29 minutes after the hour. Today in history. On this date, 1962, 63 years ago today, Jack Roosevelt Robinson becomes the first African American to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. There he is alongside Ed Roush, Bill McKechnie, and Bob Feller. Jackie is in July 23rd, 1962. Gordon Lightfoot did a song in the late 60s called Black Day in July, and it's about what happened in Detroit starting on this date in 1967 as we roll the footage. It started innocently enough, the riots did. Early on a Sunday morning, Detroit police raided an unlicensed weekend drinking club upstairs at a building in the African-American section of Detroit. It was a party celebrating the return of 2 local Detroit natives from Vietnam. They had been discharged. They thought they'd find just a couple of people at the party. 82 people were there. The Detroit police arrested everybody, and it was in the wee small hours of the morning after they hauled everybody away because the crowd showed up and started looking around. The looting began. The Michigan State Police, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, the Michigan Army National Guard, they all came, but it was early on a Sunday morning. It took hours for everybody to get organized. In the meantime, the Detroit Police Department, who didn't have enough to figure out what was going on and thought that the rioting would just peter itself out, stood there and watched, and the rioting did not peter itself out. 57 years ago in Detroit, the riots broke out. It would ultimately kill 43 people, 342 were injured, 1,400 buildings were either damaged by fire or burned to the ground. The Detroit race riots on this date 57 years ago today. And one assumes when you get in an airplane, whether it's a private airplane or a commercial flight, one assumes that, yeah, there's enough fuel to get from point A to point B, and hopefully a little more than that. Didn't happen to Air Canada Flight 143 on this date in 1983, flying from Montreal to Edmonton. It ran out of gas at 41,000 feet. Luckily, the pilot of the airplane was a glider pilot as well. And so he figured out, well, maybe we can just glide this thing. They ran out of gas. Ran out of gas. They didn't put enough gas in Montreal. 2 factors helped divert a complete disaster. Number one, they found an abandoned Air Force base, a Canadian Air Force base in Gimli, Manitoba, that had been converted into a drag strip track. That's why there's a guardrail right down the middle of the runway. And the front wheels did not lock. They had to do a gravity drop because they didn't have any power to put the landing gear down automatically, so they had to do it manually, and it didn't lock, which actually helped the plane because as soon as the plane hit the ground, the front landing gear collapsed and the plane was able to skid to a stop in addition to rubbing up against the guardrail there. Nobody was injured. I think 2 people got hurt getting out of the plane. It ran out of gas. It ran out of gas. Anyway, they made it. They eventually fixed the plane and put it back into service. That happened on this date in 1983. And birthdays. One heavenly birthday. We know them all. We knew him as Larry Bud Melman, one of David Letterman's sidekick, first on his original NBC show, and then he had to revert to his regular name, Calvert DeForest, because NBC owned the name Bud Melman. Calvert DeForest, born in the state in 1921. Funny without intentionally being funny. Woody Harrelson is 64 years old today. There you go. Somebody should probably tell him. Woody Harrelson, who, by the way, has 3 Academy Award nominations. He's a good actor. Woody Boyd, of course, on Cheers. Happy 60th to Sal Hudson. Welcome to your 60th, Sal. Join the club. We all know him as Slash, guitarist with Guns N' Roses, and a real good one, and a Northwest legend, The Glove, Gary Payton, 57 years old. He still holds the all-time Supersonics franchise records in points, assists, and steals, and he is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Happy birthday to The Glove. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. When Mike McNalty's wife is watching the Mariners play baseball on television, don't bug her. Mike McNalty will talk about that. And then Eric Granstrom had a chance to visit with my sister, full disclosure, BJ Kuntz, who is returning after a 6-year absence to the Wenatchee School District. That conversation when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Oh, happy day, Wenatchee Valley. Collins Fashions is looking forward to our famous summer weather. We are fully stocked with shorts, capris, skirts, tees, and tanks. Summer dresses have all arrived in many styles and colors. Special occasion dresses are on full display, and we have something for everyone. Collins is your Brighton headquarters with jewelry, handbags, charms, and sunglasses. We invite you to visit Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I love my wife, Rosie. Yes, I do. But her obsession with the Mariners is driving me crazy. I mean, I'm trying to read a book. I'm doing work on the computer, or heaven help me, I'm trying to go to sleep. But she feels the need to update me on every pitch, every strike, every foul ball, every doggone thing that's happening that, frankly, I couldn't care less about. You know, my friends, my buddies, they understand that when God was handing out the sports gene, I stepped out for a beer. Rosie, so somehow equates a shared love of the Mariners as some sort of barometer for our relationship. Now she can disagree with me about Janis Joplin, appropriate toppings on pizza, or my obsession with cop shows, and none of this is any indication that she doesn't love me. But me telling her that I could care less if Julio got a hit or struck out, man, we don't even want to go there. Oh God, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Settle in for summer savings on stressless furniture at Boswell's. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on stressless recliners, sofas, and accessories. Plus, save $50 on stressless Laurel and Mint dining chairs or home office chairs. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Thanks for joining us on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this sun-splashed summer day. We're talking with B.J. Kuntz, athletic director, new athletic director. I didn't want to say old.
Thank you.
What's new
Appreciate
is,
that.
or what old is, anyway. BJ's here. She's back. And welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
She had July 1st, right?
July 1st was my first day. It was interesting. I was still living on the other side of the mountains, and I worked for one school district on Monday and then worked for a new one on Tuesday. It was great.
Talk about, let's see, it's been 6 years since you left to go to the West Side. And for those that are from the Wenatchee Valley, I mean, you went away to go to school and then you came back and coached and taught and all that kind of fun stuff before you became the AD here. I talked to a lot of people. I moved here in '89, and once I found this place, I was like, I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. But some people that grew up here have to go away to appreciate what they had, and then a lot of them come back. Is that a case for you, or is it just a case for an opportunity? What was it?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I worked here for a long time, as you know, come back. I was so excited to return to Wenatchee in my first stint and teach and coach and just live the dream of the things that I had, honestly, since 7th grade. I knew I wanted to be the athletic director, right? So I did all of those things, and I had hit that spot in my career where I just felt like there's a lot out there, and I wanted to go learn and grow and explore other things that were really important to me in athletic management and leadership. And, I needed to go do that. And then I got to the point where the same thing that pulled me here as a professional pulled me right back, which is beautiful community. I have a lot of family here. And then if I'm going to work as hard as I'm going to work, I want to do it in the kids that are walking the same halls that I did all of those years ago. So the pull was to come back and take all of the things I've learned and invest those back into this community.
What was, if there's maybe a handful of things, biggest things you learned while you were away? First of all, working with the WIAA. Of course, you take that job and then bam, we hit COVID, and so that was a weird time. But what did you learn being there?
Working at the state association where you have this perspective across the entire state was awesome. I got to learn around governance of high school sports, all of the things that come into rules being made, coaches certification. I had the opportunity to do what I think are some of the very best initiatives that I could have done around coaches education, around inclusive ed, around I did softball and I did bowling and I did soccer and I did sports I knew, I did sports I didn't know, but getting to do that statewide was really cool. And that just kind of grounded you in so much knowledge about how Officials Association works and how the Coaches Association works and how different communities work all across the state. And it also gave me the opportunity to work nationally. So we're a part of the National Federation of High Schools. So I got to sit on a rules committee for the softball rule book. I mean, talk about a cool experience, and we could do a whole session on that. But I got to be a part of women in sport leadership initiatives and coaches education initiatives and things across the nation and speak in national conferences. I got to be a part of a lot of work around Title IX, like just amazing. And I felt so blessed and I felt so just overwhelmed at how cool that was.
Speaking of Title IX, I mean, we're standing in a facility now that's a result of Title IX, and unfortunately had to come to a lawsuit here in the Wenatchee School District to make this happen, but it's here. So talk about that, and you made it very clear when you left here and basically in your entire career that you want to have and empower more women to be following your footsteps, really.
Right.
How is your perspective on that now? Because you look at the faces, even on the board of the WIAA, from when you went in to when you came out, there's a lot more female faces on there.
Yes, there is. And to be honest with you, like, I don't think my foundation of who I am and what I believe back then is any different than who it is now. I think it's so important to have as many females, coaching females as possible, to have those role models. I didn't have very many growing up. But the one that I did have in Tracy Reese, who's still around town, right, was so influential that I want every kid to have that opportunity. I've also had this opportunity to dive into women and wellness. So in my previous job, we started doing girls in sport events, learn about wellness, learn about healthy eating, learn about how to not beat yourself up so much, like just really diving into the whole student athlete around females. And those are the things that I'm really excited to bring here to Wenatchee, that I've had the opportunity to meet and engage with some really amazing organizations around our state that I think we have the opportunity to bring that here.
Well, we're going to talk about flag football coming up here in a little bit. I wanted to ask about that move from WIAA to Renton to be an AD again. Was that just made sense for you? I know the WIAA kind of changed how they had their structure and things like that.
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of hit that spot where I loved the work. but I was missing kids. I was missing the direct influence on coaches. I had learned so much from those 4 years that I wanted to impact school system again. And so the Renton job happened to open. We weren't in a position, or we weren't quite ready to move back yet. That position opened. So I was able to, I worked at the district office there. I had 3 high schools, 4 middle schools, and had the opportunity to bring in coaches education, to bring in women in sport initiatives, and just really get back into this work, which I loved. But I was also at the district office, which is part of this desire to get back into a school with, I can work directly with our coaches, our kids, change our community. So.
Which is exactly what's going to happen now that you're back in Wenatchee. Yeah. We're going to talk more about that and BJ coming home, coming up next here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the PNW for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition.
Holy pepperoni, Abby Man. It's the hometown hero bursting onto the scene this July at a special price, starring classic pepperoni, green peppers, and Italian sausage. One bite and wham. Don't miss the summer's biggest blockbuster. The hometown hero has arrived at Abby's.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers. Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings. The fabulous Farmers Market. Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel, visiting with our good friend BJ Kuntz. You might recognize that last name. She might be related to the guy who's hosting this show. Of course, you guys are related to just about everybody in town, aren't you?
Sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes, and then sometimes we choose not to claim each other. So it just depends.
Well, and Dan might be one of those. Let's talk about coming home and the opportunity. When did you see it? I know that there was a year of flux for Wenatchee High School and the Wenatchee School District after Jim retired, and they tried to handle it and decided, okay, we need to open this up and try to find somebody. What was that even a thought for you? It was like, okay, we're going.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like my last square on my bingo card has been coming back to Wenatchee and making the impact where I started. Right? So I was hoping it would be in athletics, just because that's where I think I am my best and I bring my best. And so, you know, it started a couple years ago and Grandbaby 1 came. And then just in the last year, Grandbaby 2 came. And so the pull became stronger. Obviously, I have a lot of siblings here. None of us are getting younger. And so that pull started happening. I didn't anticipate that door would open quite like it did, but it did. And I'm super excited that it did. I didn't even hesitate to apply. I knew that this is that last square on my bingo card, and I am so excited to be able to take all of the things and invest it back in this community. I just can't say it enough.
So what are your goals? What do you see that needs to be done here at Wenatchee High School? But you're not just the high school AD, you're the AD for the district, right?
Yeah. So goals for me, like I want to see every single kid in the Wenatchee Valley have access to something extracurricular. Like that would be in my 3 to 5 year plan of how do we get kids access, because what that does for the infrastructure of our valley, when our kids are healthy, they have good mentors and people working with them and they're enjoying something. I see that as a big picture. Like that's way beyond Wenatchee High School, but it is Wenatchee School District and how we positively impact the entire culture of our community, right? But more short term, my goals are investing in our coaches. There's one thing that I've learned in the last 6 years is how important the coach is. Not that I didn't already know it, but the value of coaches' education, of interrogating their own thoughts and beliefs and practices, and how am I really doing the very best that I can, but to not only create super competitive environment, but have a space for those kids who don't want to compete, that want to participate, want to get all the positive vibes that come from being involved in extracurricular activities. So we really want to do both things, invest in our coaches, and then connect with our community, because I think this is a very unique community and a perfect size community to really, like, we are all one community and we're all investing in our kids together. So partnering with the club programs, partnering with our booster clubs, I'm just really thinking outside the box of how do we just check all these boxes for these kids. And at the end of the day, all means all. We want every kid having access to something extracurricular, whether it's athletics, activities, CTE, whatever it is. I just can't overstate how important it is for the culture and the health of our community that our kids are doing that.
With that, I think you saw it from the state level, and now you're going to see it on the local level. I think COVID had a big impact on extracurricular everything. I mean, the opportunities went away, first of all, and now coming back from that, we're not seeing the participation levels we once did across the board. How do you address that?
Yeah, and you're right, participation levels are down. I think communities' kind of commitment to financing those programs are going down. There's just not as many resources to make it happen. So we're just going to have to work on that brick by brick. So I think when you have coaches that kids really, really enjoy being around, more kids want to participate, that helps. We got to look at whatever barriers are stopping kids and see how we eliminate those, whatever that might be. If it's a financial barrier, if it's a family barrier, if it's a transportation barrier, how do we eliminate that? And then I think it's also okay to say, you know, if kids don't want to compete in athletics, how do we also offer things that they do enjoy doing?
Sure.
So we just got to look outside the box and just keep chipping away, like one little thing at a time. I think we'll slowly build that back up.
We just this past year had the board, the WIAA, vote in flag football for girls across the state. What's that going to look like here locally?
Oh man, I that's one of my favorite things, that in Renton we brought flag football into the schools, and it was absolutely crazy. And we ended up with 80, 90, 100 kids that don't do any other sport that were doing flag football. I don't know for sure where the Big Nine sees flag football. I'm guessing they're going to see it as a spring sport if they bring it in. I just am not quite there yet to really know what the plan is for the Big Nine. But I am all in to bringing it to our valley. But we need to make sure we have schools to compete against and a program there. So I got to figure that part out before we can jump in on that one.
There's a funding element to that as well, right? I mean, it's not just coaches, it's also finding the gear, finding the flags, and everything else that goes into that. And part of that is, you know, what we saw in Moses Lake last year. Holy cow. I mean, having to drive themselves, you know, to so many of the sporting events, and having coaches take $1 to coach. That talks about that buy-in by the coaching staff as well. As you get your feet wet back here at the Wenatchee School District, how are you seeing things financially as far as extracurricular is concerned?
Well, the fact that we passed that levy this last year tells me a lot that our community is behind what we're doing. They're behind our leadership, they're behind our school district, and they believe in having healthy youth. So I'm super excited. That sends a really strong message to me. So that part is very exciting. I think Wenatchee has always done a great job of supporting transportation and athletics and whatnot. So we just got to keep our community behind us. I think there's a lot of things that we can do to continue to do that. And you know, Corey is a fantastic leader at the district office, so I'm super excited to work with him and work with the board and do those kind of things. So yeah, you can see school districts around the state that are pulling from athletics, or levies aren't passing, and so then athletics is getting cut, and we're very fortunate here to not be in that spot.
Fair or not, the community doesn't know really what's happening inside the schools. They don't. The only judge they really have is wins and losses. In a lot of cases in varsity sports. So as a result, that's why we broadcast games on NCWLIFE channel, and that's why we encourage both the high schools to do video projects within the schools to talk about what it's like to be inside the buildings and things like that. As we step forward, as we look into your crystal ball, and I don't know what your plan is as far as how long you're going to be here and do this, what do you hope to achieve?
I hope to grow the program. I hope to grow from a successful standpoint and a participation standpoint, sort of both of those. I would like to see Wenatchee Valley be a leader in coaches education, be a leader in supporting our girls, supporting our athletes, providing opportunities. We're in a great location in the middle of the state to be able to offer different opportunities for people to come here and learn and grow and get better. So I'd like it to be a culture of growth, a culture of expansion, a culture of excellence. When people think about Wenatchee athletics, I want them to say, hey, that is exactly what we all should strive to be. So that's what we're going to work towards from a coach's perspective, from a success perspective, from a community engagement perspective. And there's no doubt in my mind that this is the best place to do it.
I got 2 more things for you.
Okay.
I mean, we could, like you said, we could talk
Do this
for
all
hours
day.
on officials.
Yeah.
And officiating.
Mhm.
As you know, our good friend Jerry Anderson always says in his emails, without officials, it's recess.
Yes.
And there's still that big time shortage.
Mhm.
So how do we address that?
I have always believed, and haven't quite figured out how to do it, but I'm hopeful we can do it here, that we need to get some programs in the schools to get kids engaged, right? So I've already had conversations with our CTE director, Jake, talked a little bit about how we can add some athletic-oriented programming through CTE for both officials and even event management, because it's hard to find event workers as well, right? So how do we grow all of that? And that's another area I think we can be an example. There's a handful of school districts around the state that have started that. And it's made a huge difference to get student officials started, and I think partnering with Wenatchee Valley College, whatever we need to do. You've probably heard that multiple times.
Yes,
I feel like I have the skill set now to kind of start to work our way through making that happen.
Yeah, Sandy Cooper and I were very close to getting that at the college, and
Yep.
then we got the kibosh.
Yep.
So hopefully that can happen, because being a former official myself, and then
Mhm.
of course calling games, and
Yep.
if the officials don't show up, it kind of makes it hard to do.
Yep.
Last question for you, and this is, you know, the question that's probably begging for a lot of information still, is NIL.
Mhm.
It's reaching into the high school ranks across the country. Where does your crystal ball say we're going on that front?
It's hard to know. You know, WIA had that amendment this year that kind of opens up some of the transfer rules. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, it's always been in existence where kids can do, you know, try to do some finding the right spot for them. The NIL will be really interesting to see how that trickles down into our high schools. You know, I read articles and go into some of these national conferences, and you hear about kids in certain private schools in certain areas of the country getting some significant money and some NIL. It's going to trickle here. It'll get here. I don't know if we have very many kids involved in that right now, but it's going to happen over time. And so I think it's my job to be educated, to be aware, and to be able to start providing that education to our kids and our families so they know what to do.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back.
Excited to be here.
Yes, and looking forward to our fall sports season coming up. We've got, I think, 19 different broadcasts we're planning here between Wenatchee and Eastmont and Cashmere. So it doesn't happen without the ADs.
Thank you.
BG.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
There you go.
All
BJ
right.
Kuntz joining us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting for you. The Gilded Lily offers a unique collection of hand-selected, carefully curated items to help you celebrate all of life's special moments. From the budding chef to the home decorator to that very special occasion, there is an abundance of delightful gifts waiting for you. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items to brighten any area of your home.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
$70 degrees here if you're watching the live version of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley from 7 to 8 a.m. A lot of folks watch the rerun between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And if you're watching that, I'll guess it's 77. No more unstableness in the atmosphere. We're done with it. And the cooler than normal temperatures that we've gone through the last 4 days, done with that. It is July. July took a 4-day vacation, and July is back. From the National Weather Service, let's take a look at the forecast. Sunshine, 91 today. It'll be about 5 degrees warmer. than it was yesterday. It was a nice afternoon, but it felt kind of muggy, didn't it? 66 for the overnight low tonight. We'll see lots of sunshine on Thursday with a high of about 92. It's going to be a little breezy Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and Friday. Not windy, just a little breezy for that 48-hour period or so. Then the winds will calm down overnight Friday night. Pleasant weekend. Nothing wrong at all with that. Some cool air is going to seep in on Thursday night and Friday. That's why we're going to have a little bit of wind, and some cool air is going to seep in from Canada, which is going to make our temperatures just about perfect. Sunshine, mid to upper 80s. Can't ask for anything better than that. And that is it for us. Start your Thursday with us tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.